YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host TKK, and we are back with another video, guys. Thanks a lot for stopping in. We've got day 2 coverage and more full in-depth review of the Qanba 2009. In typical fashion with my videos, I want to start off with the video expectations. This video is going to have some timestamps, so feel free to utilize those to get to where you need to be so this video can keep you stimulated, okay? If you like it at any point, leave a thumb up, comment, share it, all of that jazz. But let's talk about what you can expect in this video. I'm going to film this video with 2 specific phases, okay? Phase 1 is going to go into the logistics of one way that I think this platform can be used if you are not considering or not able to afford the space for an arcade cabinet. I'm going to show you a way that I think you can use it where it's going to be best practice to kind of have you an arcade cabinet. Because, I mean, they've coined this thing 2009 arcade, right? And so we'll go through parts and all of that, and then I'll get you an overview of that. I don't want to create too much fluff with this video, but I think it's going to have some depth to it. So, again, use the timestamps and, you know, just leave some feedback if there's anything you felt I could have done better. Phase 2 is going to be how I would use this, and it is going to be how I am going to use this. And phase 2 is going to essentially show you an entire different way that you can build this base station to work for that use case, right? It all makes sense when you're seeing the video. So, you know, I'll kind of coin phase 1, phase 2, and then within it have these timestamps, and you can just kind of go through the video. I'm going to shoot as much content as I feel I need to, cut what I need to cut, and try to produce this content so it can be enjoyable for you. So let's enjoy the full review of the Qanba 2009 right after this intro. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. If you happen to like the video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Let's start off with the source. This is quite possibly going to be the most important component right here. We've got a small form factor PC case by a company, Silverstone. This thing is really tiny. And I have the game case here just for reference, just so you can kind of see. Now, I do make a lot of intimate posts on the Vewlix and Chewlix Facebook community groups. Those groups are pretty cool groups where you can find myself and a lot of other community members that you can activate with. I will go months on end where I may not post stuff, and then when I do, I just kind of binge go in, right? But again, this is just for reference, and I think this is a good reference. Now, I would not encourage any type of equipment get stationed on top of this. I think the way that this is going to be optimally used is keyboard, mouse go on the top, okay? And good luck finding a mouse and keyboard pad that will fit this thing. Now, I'm sure some of you guys can get crafty out there. You can make your own technology, but most of the larger ones are like 35 inches. This thing is like 29 inches from right here to right here. So all you really need, I think, is just something that'll cover for your mouse pad. So I do have something coming. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you the PC. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time going into the logistics of what's in it. The foundation is a 10th gen i7 and an RTX 3072 fan, okay? We do have 750 watts of power. We got 16 gigs of RAM, and we've got 2 terabytes. We've got 1 SATA, and we've got 1 M.2 NVMe. So yeah, that's what we got for this. The goals are to be able to play my games in 4K. And we'll get to the monitor piece next. And I also wanted to be able to play Fightcade, and you know, that's just kind of what I was interested in. I wanted enough resources so that I could use an external capture card, maybe to utilize console play at some time in the future. But I think this will be all encompassed. It will take care of everything that I need. So that's the PC there. All right, guys, so the next piece, if the computer is the engine, the monitor definitely has to be the transmission of the car, if you get the analogy, okay? This is the Samsung Neo G8 32-inch. This is a curved monitor, and it's one that I featured on my channel last year when it released. This is the very first 4K 240 hertz monitor. It does feature HDMI 2.1 and DisplayPort 1.4. Now, the graphics card that I have is definitely not up to the standards of being able to push 4K at 240 hertz. Neither will any of the games that I am expected to play in this platform going to support that, but it's what I had, and so I wanted to utilize this technology. Now, the curvature being in the center of this panel is going to give me the most immersive look. Definitely 100% curve over flat if you are sitting at the center. Now, viewing angles are not going to be the best on this. This is a mini LED, unlike an OLED or a quantum dot OLED, which if you want to subscribe, you will be able to see a comparison of this versus the first 32-inch 4K QD OLED at the end of the month. That's going to be coming. This thing at an angle, which I'll show you, won't give you the best look. It won't give you the best representation of your content, but sitting in the middle, it's going to be flawless, right? Super bright, great colors, a lot of pop, has the ability to game in ultra wide too. And like I said, it's a 16:9 aspect ratio that is native 4K 240 hertz. So it can support all the ones under the 144, can support the 165, it can support the 120, the 100, the 60 hertz, all of that jazz in between. So this is the monitor. All right, so this is the monitor mount from Gear. The model is EGCM12. Guys, just something simplistic, right? I just looked at the VESA pattern, knew that it would fit the monitor that I was going with, and it looks to be pretty stable. And it has some adjustment functionality to go up and down. And so all that I really wanted was just something that would be center mass, that would put me in a nice position. And we'll talk about measurements of this thing in just a second, right? I just wanted something that could sit in the center, that could just kind of holster my monitor and give me a nice level of immersion. So very affordable. Up to this point, outside of the Qanba 2009, this is the only piece that I've actually had to buy to make this modification possible. Everything else was just in storage. I pulled it out of my storage unit, got to building or putting it together. And yeah, so as I said, the monitor has been featured on the channel last year. I did the review and everything of it. And yeah, the Qanba's new, obviously. But yeah, so this is the Gear. So this will kind of be a review of it too. I've never used it. I just read some reviews and it was affordable. It was around 17 bucks. I said, yeah, this is going to be the one for me. So let's turn this thing around so we can talk about some measurements. All right, so the 2009 is not a huge device. It is not, guys, like not at all, okay? So the bottom piece, they say that this is for consoles. This thing comes in at about 12.5 inches, okay? Which is literally what my PC case is. I mean, the case is so small in terms of depth. I couldn't fit a Founders Edition 3080 Ti, which I had one and I wanted to get it in there. So I went with the 2-fan 3070. It was literally long enough for that. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Now, most of the modern consoles are going to have the ability to stand up vertically, and so they'll fit on there no problem. Of course, if you do a Steam Deck or anything like that, it'll sit there for you. So the depth and totality of this thing, and this is kind of posted out there, you're looking at about 26, almost 27 inches in terms of depth. You go to the width of this guy, you're looking at about 33, okay? And then from a height perspective, you're gonna see we're gonna come in at about 31 if you're counting the stick, but the actual unit is about 29.5, which isn't too far off from Chewlix. Excuse me, house is under construction a little bit. Chewlix sits lower. It's about 27, 26 and a half. Vewlix sits a little bit higher, right? Vewlix is like 28, 29. So Vewlix is pretty spot on, or Qanba 2009 is pretty spot on with Vewlix. Now Chewlix, it's a replica. It's a great product. Not that this is a comparison video for the two, but the Chewlix, they can measure out to be different. When I did my comparisons of Vewlix and Chewlix, I was talking about things such as how the Chewlix kind of sits off the wall, whereas the Vewlix is more on the wall, whereas the vice versa, the bottom of the Vewlix comes off the wall a little bit more, whereas the Chewlix pushes onto the wall. So there's just little differences about them. But the Qanba 2009, in my opinion, is more of a representation of what you get from the actual Vewlix, right? So let's talk about just like the control board. This thing is about 8 inches, okay? Just from this piece right here. I had someone ask me if these were interchangeable on the 2009. You got more depth here. You're about almost 11 inches there, right? So yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at. One more thing I wanted to talk about, comfort, because I've just seen a lot of comments within the community group. Comfort in terms of keyboard mouse utilization, and I covered this in the review that was at the end in the conclusions. It feels pretty organic using it for what you would use it for. Now, what I mean by that is you wouldn't use this to do first-person shooter games. It's just, it doesn't make sense. You've got all of this content right here that would be blocking you. But just for a quick communication, I need to send a message or something, this area feels really good for the time that you would use it to send a quick message. A lot better than navigating digital keyboards on screen using up, down, left, right, and then these buttons. So hopefully that answers some questions about dimensions and things of that sort with the 2009. We've talked about the totality of some of the products that I'm gonna use. There's a couple more things I want to bring into the mix before we go ahead and actually put this together. All right, guys, so here's an overview. I think this is a vision of what great looks like if you are planning on using the Qanba 2009 as a setup where it's fully modular for you to be able to maximize on productivity, maybe creating content, gaming, obviously. So you've got plenty of room for you to put some peripherals, things of that sort. As you can see, you can get yourself a subwoofer, nice system, and some speakers if your monitor doesn't have speakers. Yeah, you've got ample space for you to be able to, get your keyboard warrior on, talk some smack to your opponent, maybe give them some tips, some suggestions. The only thing that I have missing in this setup would be a microphone. So just leave some imagination on what you can do there. And so I wanted to kind of top off this phase of the video with just like me showing you guys what this looks like. This is a great setup. I like this. This feels very organic. I played some games on it. Feels pretty good. And it's cool having speakers, but also let's just be mindful. There are some quality headset options that you can get with microphones too. So that's why I don't have a microphone on this layout. I like the way this looks. I think adding a microphone just kind of looks out of place a little bit, but that's just my opinion. Like I said, leave something for the imagination. Okay. So just give you another quick overview of this. We'll walk around a little bit and we'll start phase 2 of this video where we'll show you what I think another vision of good looks like using this device in a different use case, right? Because again, this doesn't take a lot of space. You can put this in a corner and you got everything there. This is going to be very similar to you replicating, getting yourself a Vewlix or something of that sort. All right, but we'll see you in the next transition so we can start the second half of the video. All right, guys, so let's start phase 2 of this video, right? I want to invite you into my personal space just a little bit to give you some context as to how we are going to exhibit the 2009, right? So I am a home theater nut, nerd, geek, whatever you want to call me. That's my primary focus on YouTube is higher end TVs and such. I digress. I do have a gaming PC in here and it serves me well. RTX 4090, all of that jazz, okay? So I've got this empty space here. This space is empty because I did have my orange diamond Vewlix. You just seen in prior transitions where that is now. But this is literally where the Qanba 2009 is going to rest itself. Now, this solution that we're going to create here is what I think going to be probably most likely for most people, okay? If you're like me and you like playing on big screen TVs, because these TVs do have optimal, performance. I mean, high resolution, great fidelity. The refresh rates are there. This is the Sony A95L 77 inch. So this TV's 4K, 120 hertz. It's a QD OLED. So there is no screen, no monitor that you can buy on this planet that comes anywhere remotely close to looking better. But I still want to be able to game the same way, right? So we're going to build the Qanba 2009 in a solution to accommodate this, okay? And I think this is going to work well with most of you guys that may have bigger screen TVs, or guess what? Maybe you're not trying to make a fully modular setup, but you just want something that you can kind of move around and make it more portable, okay? This room does have a full surround system, so I'm not going to be focused on putting speakers and such on the desk. We're going to be focused on the essentials, getting the PC there, getting the cable management position, getting a webcam on it, also getting a microphone on it, as well as the keyboard and mouse, so that I can do everything I need to do to be able to communicate and create content. And then guess what? When I'm playing on a PC with a big screen like this, I can play in windowed mode. I can play in windowed mode and I don't need to have 2 monitors. So let's go ahead and get this thing cracking right in the next transition. All right, before I go ahead and get this thing tore down, I want to say this was not too bad moving it. Everything in place, still intact, so really good. Some wheels would have been helpful though. Honestly, that's the one thing. Some wheels would be really nice. So anybody come up with some modification ideas to get wheels on this thing would be great. I'm really shocked that they don't have any, but hey, kind of is what it is. I think wheels with strong locks on them would have been pretty dope. But yeah, this was a 2-man move just because of the weight of everything, the monitor, the PC, the subwoofer and such. So now I'm going to just go ahead and get this thing completely broken down. And then when we come back, next transition, we'll be looking at a finished product with everything for a modular living room setup. I guess that's what I'll call this. All right, guys. So we got this thing all done. I got it right on there. But yeah. All right. It's nice and modular. Got PC down below. Off the carpet, off the ground. Got a monitor arm there. Move that out the way. Webcam there. You guys would like to get your content on. Pair of headphones there. Basically, I just ran my my Ethernet and HDMI under my TV stand, right? And then just my power over here for when I temporarily am going to be playing. So when I'm not actually going to be using it, it'll just kind of sit over here to the right. But yeah, man, just got this thing set up, and I think this is a pretty viable way to use the platform. Now I've got a big box running on here. This platform works out to be pretty nice for me. Got pretty much everything that I need to have going there. But yeah, let's get you a look at the kind of back of this. Just get cables managed, zip tied and such. So yeah, very useful. Let me know what you think. All right, so let's just get into a couple of frequently asked questions, right? This is my review for this product. First of all, let me just say thank you for getting to this point of the video. Most of this has all been done handheld. I do have a stabilizer, so hopefully it's been effective in doing its job. So I was asked a question about, and these are questions I was gathering from the community forums and such, Facebook groups. Was the monitor shaking when I was playing? No shake at all. This thing is really sturdy, so very sturdy. Good quality build. I have not set a monitor on it yet, but I've seen and I've read from people saying that, hey, there was no crazy monitor shakes. I keep getting asked, can this thing support a CRT? I don't know if people are trolling or what. No, I would not buy this for a CRT television, man. This is not for a CRT. And then add to the fact that there's just not enough depth for you to be able to sit a CRT. You still got to be, conscious of how close you're going to be for this thing. So I think using a monitor arm is the best way to go if you're going to be using this thing. This is, in my opinion, like the better way to use this for me personally, only because, you know, I like my house and I like having things set up the way that they are. So all I have to do is just unplug this thing and tuck the not extension cord, but tuck the surge protector, and I'm good to go, and throw this thing back on over to the corner, right? And so I could just utilize my TV that's set up for me to do what I need to do, and that's that. But phase one, that content might be better for some of you guys. If you don't have an arcade cabinet at all, maybe you building this out with a monitor arm and getting the monitor of your choice, or 2 monitors, works out to be better for you. I, for a long time, wanted to create content in this room using this TV or any TV that I'll upgrade it to in 2024 this year. So this desk, if you will, the base station of this, has given me the resources, the footprint to be able to make the kind of content that I think I want to make. As I mentioned earlier, because the TV is so large, I can play in window mode. I've got an RTX 4090 with an i9 processor in their latest edition, and it's going to be able to run anything I throw at it. So creating content, streaming, all of that stuff, not going to be a problem. And then for those of you that might like the green screen, just kind of zooming over here because I can throw my collapsible right in between this space right here, right? And as you can see where I got the webcam pointed, it's going to go right there. So I'll be able to have that invisible background, so be clean there. So yeah, I wanted to share this with you guys. You know, I think this is considered a full review. I love the product. It's pretty solid. And even the gripe that I had with the cup holders yesterday, I'm finding them to be helpful. I can get my headphones there. Because again, if I'm streaming or something like that, I don't want to get double audio, so I can just throw some headphones on to be able to hear what I've got going on. So yeah, this thing is pretty solid, man. And for the price, how sturdy it is, everything that's included, small little amenities, like, you know, like having this little controller, you know, cover, and just everything that they've included with it, man, works out to be pretty nice. So get yourself just a baseline keyboard mouse like I did, and you be good to go. So that's going to wrap this up, man. I'm not sure if I'll be making any more 2009 content unless it really comes down for you guys just having some questions. I don't see myself doing anything too crazy with the mods. And just so you can see, I use the cup holder for me to get my Elgato face cam, right, with the Elgato pole, right? So yeah, but that's what I got, man. So let me know if you got questions, need some help, whatever. I'm here for that. Use the comment section. If you like the video, show some support, like, share, subscribe. But I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Peace, God bless. And as I always say, man, Max Love, 2009 by Qanba.